Hello guys, welcome back to the e-commerce web project video series. In our last video, we tackled the Remember Me add-on for the sign-in process. If you missed it, you can catch up by clicking on the card displayed in the upper right corner. Today, we are diving into developing a forgot password add-on for the sign-in process. I'm Tertiary Alexander from the Java Institute for Advanced Technology in Sri Lanka. Our first step is to add a model box to our design. This model box will pop up when the user clicks on the Forgot Password button. I've already customized this model box with input fields for the new password, retype password and verification code. You can easily find model box templates in the Bootstrap documentation and customize them according to your needs. Okay, next we need to program the Forget Password button to open the model box. I will assign a function to the Forget Password button and then move to the script.js file to create a function called Forgot Password. Inside this function, I have created variables to capture the entered email because we need to check if the user already has an account in the database and if it matches the email entered in the email field. Using the get method, I pass this information to the server side by binding the email to the Forgot Password process.php file using ajax. If you are unfamiliar with the get and post methods, you can watch my previous video by clicking on the card displayed on the screen. In the Forget Password process.php file, our first step is to include the connection.php file and establish a connection with the database. Once the user clicks on the Forgot Password button, our goal is to send an email with verification code. To achieve this, we need to add some files to our project folder. These files include exception, auth, PHP mailer, hop tree, and SMTP. Then we include the SMTP, PHP mailer, and exception files in the Forgot Password process.php file. These files contain the necessary classes to send an email from the server side to the user's email address. We specify the use of the PHP mailer class by mentioning the file path. Inside the if-else statement, we check if the user has entered an email address into the field. If not, we echo an error message. If the user has entered an email, we proceed with a search query to validate if it's valid email. If it's valid, we create a new variable and assign it to generate a unique ID using the unique ID function. Okay guys, next we add the code to send the email. We specify the server-side email, which is the admin email. We also need to set an app password generated by Gmail service. Additionally, we must assign the same admin email to the set from and add replied fields. In the subject line, we add the email subject and the content. We include the verification code message. We bind the unique ID to this message, and finally, using an if-else statement, we check if the email was successfully sent to the user's email address. If it was successful, we echo a response text as success. In the script.js file within the Forgot Password function, I check if the response text equal to success using an if-else statement. If the response is successful, I created a variable for the model and assigned the model to be added in the index.php file. Then I assigned it to a new Bootstrap model and commanded it to open the model box. Otherwise, I displayed an error message. After verifying that the email was sent successfully, the next step is to reset the password. In the index.php file, I began by programming the show or hide buttons. I assigned IDs to the fields and to the show or hide button, and also created a function for the hide and show button. Then, in the script.js file, I created a function called showPassword. Inside this function, I obtained the IDs of the text field and the button, and then use an if-else statement to check the field type. If it's password field, I set it to text and change the text inside the button using the inner HTML function. Otherwise, I set the text field type as password and the bottom text as show. Similarly, I created a function to program the retype password field and the button. To program the reset password button, we need to ensure that when the user adds their new password and clicks on the reset button. The password is updated in the database with the newly entered one. I assigned an onClick function to the reset password button and created a function in the script.js file named reset password. Then within the reset password function, I created variables to store the email, new password, retype password and verification code. Then I created a new form and appended the data as name value pair, then sending to the reset password process.php file using the post method by Ajax. Okay, then moving on to the reset password process.php file, I included the PHP script. First, I included the connection.php file and established the connection between the database and the server. Then I retrieved the values sent through the post method and used an if-else ladder to validate the data are correct. If incorrect, I echoed the error message to the user. Mainly, I checked whether the verification code tallies with the code in the database and also whether it matches with the email entered by the user. If true, I commanded to update the password in the database. Then moving back to the script.js file, I use an if-else statement to check if the response is successful or not. If successful, I displayed a message stating password update successfully and hit the model. Otherwise, I alerted an error message to the user. Okay guys, to test the process, I first check if the validations are working correctly. Okay, all are correct, and then I added the correct data and checked if the password updated correctly. Okay, here I add the password. Okay, after entering the verification code and clicking the reset button, I received the message that my password was updated successfully. Checking the database confirmed that the password updated successfully. Okay, finally I signed in using the new password and everything was successfully completed. So I hope you guys fully understand the forgot password add-on process. In the next video, I hope to design a dynamic responsive homepage using HTML, CSS, JavaScript and Bootstrap. Don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the bell button to get the notification of my latest video. See you all in the next one.